In the name of God, my name is Dr. Fatemeh Heidary. Title of my presentation is regarding preprints and publication ethics, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I would like to disclose my conflict of interest. I am founder and editor-in-chief of Medical Hypothesis, Discovery and Innovation in Ophthalmology Journal, Medical Hypothesis, Discovery and Innovation in Optometry Journal, the iOpen repository. Other potential conflict of interest already are available in my personal website. Definition of the preprint. Actually, preprint is a full draft research paper that is publicized prior to the formal peer review process. History of preprint goes back to at least 1960s when the National Institute of Health circulated biological preprints. In 2017, the Medical Research Council started supporting citations of preprints in grant and fellowship applications, and Wellcome Trust started accepting preprints in grant applications. The first preprint study on COVID-19 was published on January 19, 2020, and thousands of articles were published subsequently. Here in this slide, I have listed current preprint repositories which are available in internet. The important fact is that whether the preprint is good or bad. It's actually both. Although studies show that the average normal period for peer reviewing process is 125 days, many of preprints published papers in less than a week. What they do is an initial screening with a few editorial formalities, the details of which are available on each preprint websites and is specific for each preprint principles. Although preprints as open publishing platforms provide early access to research outputs, the fact that papers are not peer-reviewed in formal process has created deep controversies and concerns. I adopted two papers in my next two slides regarding the advantage and disadvantages of the preprints from my own article, which recently published with the topic of the COVID-19 impact on research and publication ethics. Advantages of the preprints could be listed as a prompt dissemination of outcomes, contributes to free flow of information, increased chances of early feedback and comments, increased citation chances of academic collaborations, make authors enthusiastic, may reduce predatory publishing, increases transparency, may publish negative outcomes and controversies, may receive DOI linked to ORCID and plagiarism check, a chance to receive grants and awards, promotion of young researchers, early credit, good place for hypotheses, and early detection of science misconduct. And there are published papers which compare retroactive preprints and peer review articles on COVID-19, and the results reveal that authors identified 40 retroactive preprints in this published paper. The increased adaptation of preprint results in faster identification of the erroneous articles compared to traditional peer review shows advantage of preprint. However, there are many disadvantages concerning preprints also, including lack of peer review, absence of quality. However, this disadvantage is a controversy, concerns about premature data, media coverage without robust evaluation, risk of double citation, since by publishing a peer-reviewed article, the preprint may also be cited. Lack of ethical and statistical guidelines in some of the preprints, lack of respect for COPE and ICMG guidelines, breach of intellectual property regulations in some countries, possible harm to health in certain cases, information overload, and breach of angel finger rule, which is a strategy conducted to discourage dissemination of the research reports before they are published in the journal, rush to post low-quality research. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the need for preprints. Preprints are extending visibility in all fields, and preprints are functioning as a pools to journals. However, from my point of view, there are many future outlooks regarding the future of the preprints and progression of preprints, which could be listed in my next 3 slides as my last slides of the presentation. First is public review of preprints through social media to assist the peer review process of the journals, although it is not academically reliable. Second, new era in specialized preprints. For example, In the future of the preprints, we will face with the subspecialized preprint website, pulmonary preprints, ophthalmology preprints, and so on. Third, remove of the barriers on inequalities of the indexing some preprints. Some preprints currently are indexed in well-known indexing resources, however, some preprints are not. And in the future, these barriers and these inequalities will be removed. And fourth is remove of conflict of interest between journal publishers and preprint owners. Currently, some official and well-known journal publishers, they have their own preprints as well. And five, the best way to improve scientific integrity of the preprints, from my point of view, is to hire paid certified independent peer reviewers to check the validity of the preprint contents. This will enhance scientific integrity of the preprints. This news, which recently published, shows that one of the preprints received 2 million, actually the grant from the well-known sponsor, and this shows that the preprint is a lucrative area currently in terms of the publication business. The sixth possible outlook of the preprints is automatic update of retracted papers to preprint servers, and they will have the possibility and will have the ability to update the retracted papers as official journals are doing currently. And seven is considering academic credit to researchers who deposit to preprints. It will encourage the progression and development of the preprints in future. Eight is possible invasion of predatory journals toward the preprint websites in order to publish preprint papers without review. This is the future possibility for the preprints. And nine is necessity of adaptation of the preprints to science integrity principles. Although some preprints have commitment to the integrity principles, but majority of them don't have. So in the future, there should be obligation of the, for example, including the ethical code in the published papers in each preprint. 9 is each journal could have its own preprint server. In this case, all submission could be open access before peer reviewing process. And the 10 possibility in the future of the preprints is defining the criteria of the predatory preprints, as there is an exact definition of the predatory journals at the moment. In the futures also, there is possibility as this outlook that in the future, the scientists in the field of the publication and journalism will try to define the specific and definite criteria for predatory preprints as well. Thank you very much. This was my end of presentation. And you can find my contact details through either my official email or my personal email. This is my pleasure if I could help you to clarify more regarding my presentation. If you have any query, please feel free to contact with me. I would be happy to answer. Thank you very much, and thank you for time and attention.